Today I'm sharing 3 easy apple treats that'll wow your family and friends without taking up your whole day. Before we get started, hi, I'm Chyna B. I create easy recipes for busy adults. I love if you hit that subscribe button so we can hang out every week and create something sweet together. Okay, these recipes are all delicious, all simple, and perfect for your holiday spread. Let's get into these apple treats. First, let's start with our dry ingredients. I've got some all-purpose flour in a large bowl here, and I'm adding in baking powder, baking soda, and a pinch of salt. Then I'm going in with some cinnamon and nutmeg. Just give that a quick whisk until everything's nicely combined and set it aside for now. Now let's move on to the wet ingredients. In a separate bowl, I'm whisking together some melted butter, granulated sugar, and brown sugar until it's nice and smooth. Next up, I'm adding in 2 eggs, one at a time, making sure to whisk well after each one. Typically, I whisk for about 20 seconds between the eggs. A splash of vanilla extract goes in next, followed by some whole milk. Now you could use buttermilk if that's what you have on hand. Time to bring it all together. I'm switching to a silicone spatula for this part, and I should have added the wet ingredients into the dry, but honestly, either way works. Just don't overmix. We want tender muffins and not dense ones. Now I'm folding in the diced apples. I like to use 1 Granny Smith for a bit of tartness and 1 Honey Crisp for that sweet crunch. It's the perfect combo. I also love using tulip liners instead of cupcake liners because they give the muffins that bakery style vibe. Fill each cup halfway with batter, and here comes the fun part. Press a soft caramel candy right into the center of each muffin cup. Now, if you don't like caramel surprises, feel free to skip this step. It is optional. Then top off the cups with more batter until they are almost full. Into the oven they go at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes, just until the tops are golden brown and they smell amazing. While those bake, let's make the caramel drizzle. Combine caramels with some heavy cream. Microwave in 30-second bursts, stirring in between until it's smooth and luscious. Let it cool for a bit to thicken up and then drizzle generously over each muffin top. The more, the better, right? And that's it. Look at these bakery-style caramel apple muffins packed with juicy apple chunks, a gooey caramel surprise, and that golden caramel drizzle on top. One thing I love about muffins is that they're simple, fuss-free, and absolutely delicious with minimal cleanup. Thank you so much for baking with me today. If you enjoyed this recipe, don't forget to like the video. You can find the recipe linked in the description box below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell so you don't miss out on future bakes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. First up, let's make the streusel. In a bowl, I've got some all-purpose flour and brown sugar. And to that, I'm adding the ultimate fall spices, cinnamon, cloves, and a little salt. Give that a quick whisk until it's all mixed together. Now for my favorite part, adding in the cold cubed butter. We're going to work that butter into the dry ingredients using our fingers until it looks like coarse sand. Sure, you could use a pastry cutter if you want to keep your hands clean, but trust me, fingers do the best job. Once it's ready, just set it aside and we'll move on to the dry ingredients. In a medium bowl, I've got some more all-purpose flour. To that, I'm adding in some cinnamon, nutmeg, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Whisk it all up until everything is nice and combined. Now in a larger bowl, I am going to cream together a stick of softened unsalted butter with some granulated sugar. Using an electric hand mixer on medium-high, I'm going to beat this until it's light and fluffy, which usually takes me about 2 to 3 minutes. Now add in 1 egg and a splash of vanilla extract. Keep that mixer on low and blend until everything is smooth. Time to bring in the dry ingredients. Add half of the flour mixture to the butter mixture and mix on low speed. Then add some sour cream, which is going to keep our coffee cake super moist. Now finish by adding the rest of the dry ingredients and mix until everything is just combined. You want to be careful here not to overmix the batter. Next up, fold in those delicious chopped apples. I actually grated mine and sauteed them with a little butter and sugar beforehand to give them a slightly caramelized flavor. It really helps the apples melt into the cake, but you could totally skip this step if you prefer. Now let's assemble our coffee cake. Pour the batter into a prepared 8-inch cake pan. Give the top a smooth finish with an offset spatula, though I totally forgot to do that, but hey, it's still gonna taste amazing. Then sprinkle that buttery spice streusel topping evenly over your batter. I'm gonna pop this in my preheated oven at 350 degrees and bake for 35 to 40 minutes, or until a toothpick comes out clean when inserted into the center. Trust me, your kitchen is going to smell so good while this cake bakes. Now, while the coffee cake cools down, let's whip up a simple glaze. In a small bowl, I've got some powdered sugar. I'm gonna add in a bit of milk and vanilla extract. And I'm going to mix this until it's nice and smooth. Then drizzle that glaze all over your cool cake in zigzag patterns for that classic coffee cake look. And there you have it, a tender, flavorful apple streusel coffee cake with a buttery crumble topping. Perfect with a hot cup of coffee or tea. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more easy dessert recipes. You'll also find the full recipe linked in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. To start, I washed, cored, and cut my apples into wedges, being careful to remove all of the seeds. I like using this apple slicer because it both cores and slices the apples into wedges at the same time. For this cider, I used ambrosia and Honeycrisp apples. They're my absolute favorite apple combination for cider because they complement each other's flavors. The ambrosia apples provide sweetness, while the Honeycrisp apples offer a touch of tartness, resulting in a cider that's both sweet and tangy. Now, when you make this, feel free to experiment with different apple varieties because the best apples for your homemade cider are those that you actually enjoy eating. I peeled an orange and broke it into segments. The orange will add a touch of acidity to balance out the cider. Now, the thing I love about this recipe is that it's a breeze to make. You literally place everything in the pot, then set it and forget it. Now, I choose to use a slow cooker for this recipe, but you can also make this apple cider on the stovetop or in an Instapot. Now, for more details on how to do that and different alcohol combinations that pair amazingly well with this cider, head over to chynabsweets.com. I will leave a link in the description box of this video. So I placed the fruits, brown sugar, ground cloves, salt, vanilla, and cinnamon sticks in a 5-quart slow cooker. Then added in enough water to cover the fruit, gave it a good stir, covered, and let the magic happen. Now, when I tell you these fresh apples and warm spices will fill your home with the scent of fall, I'm so serious. Once the cider is done, remove the oranges and cinnamon sticks and mash the apples with a potato masher. Please don't skip this step. Mashing the apples will give your cider a more intense apple flavor. Once your apples have been mashed, use a fine mesh strainer to carefully strain the cider. I press out more of that apple flavor while I'm straining, and I repeat 2 to 3 times to get rid of any solids. There you have it, an easy homemade apple cider that captures the essence of autumn in every sip. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any personal twist you added to this recipe in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest recipes. And if you found this recipe as delightful as I do, like and share this video to spread the fall vibes. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay sweet. Testing. Does it look like I'm off to the side? I create easy recipes for busy adults. Okay, the glue on my glasses. Easy as it's terrible. So we can create something. Before we get today, I'm sharing. Oh, see, I'm just gonna hold the mic. Apple recipes. Oh, I see.